Welcome home, horror fans. My name's Adam.
And I'm Zoe, and these are the 10 happiest moments in the Saw franchise.
These are the moments that we love the most from the Saw franchise.
I wouldn't say the moments we love the most. I definitely say the moments where we feel the happiest, for sure. Because there are moments that I would say we probably love more, but they're a bit depressing.
Yeah, well, okay.
So let's just go with the moments that are the happiest in the franchise.
That's it. And starting with number 10.
At number 10, we have Amanda, John, and Carlos walk out.
How can we not pick this beautiful, let's say, Disney moment of the Saw family at the end of Saw X walking out to a beautiful sunset to just, pure happiness, let's say.
I think this moment was a perfect way to end Saw 10, and I think it would have been elevated even more if Amanda and John, it had have been the end of their story.
Yes.
They walk out into the bright light, almost signifying the end of their characters, and of course Amanda and John died very early in the franchise, so it would have made sense for it to end like that. But instead we get Amanda, John, and Carlos walk out of the terrible situation that they were in the whole of Saw X.
It was a really nice, happy moment, as much as maybe it didn't feel at place with a horror movie.
No, not at all.
It was a beautiful moment and justified on this list, I feel like. And that brings us to number 9.
At number 9, we have Amanda's return.
Amanda's return in Saw X was a really big fan service moment.
Absolutely. I think this moment could have been elevated so much further had it not been in the trailer. But regardless of the fact that we knew she was coming back, the moment where the reveal happens and Amanda returns is just one of the best cinema experiences you could ever hope for. It was incredible.
Incredible, especially the montage that we get when it's revealed that it is her abducting each of the trap victims of this. It's this beautiful montage, and she comes across as quite terrifying in this
Very
montage.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And she's on screen. She's more menacing than ever
That's
with
right.
how she speaks to Cecilia and everyone else. She seems so excited to be there kidnapping everyone and having them get what they deserve. And I love that for her.
Yes.
I love that for her.
We love it.
But another thing about that montage specifically, Saw X's soundtrack is incredible. And that is completely on display with this montage scene. It's elevated so much further with that. It just gets you so hyped and very, very happy.
And that brings us to number 8.
At number 8, we have Hoffman's reveal.
The big reveal in Saw 4 that Hoffman is actually on the inside as an apprentice.
Yep. Who would have ever seen it coming? Not us, because it definitely wasn't leaked before the film started filming. Hoffman's reveal is awesome. Regardless of whether it was leaked or not, I think Hoffman's our favorite character.
Yeah.
Who would have known at this point that he would have been our favorite character? The moment that he undoes his binds and we realize as the audience that he was never in any danger for the whole film is iconic.
Yeah, and also, you just gotta love the way he's got that look on his face as he stares down at Rig.
Very smug.
Very smug, and Rig is just in shock and awe.
Yep.
And you just it kind of makes me laugh a little bit every time. Just, it's that enjoyable. This is why it's a happy moment for us, because it's not just the reveal like, ooh, Hoffman is actually an apprentice. It's just a really cool scene.
It is.
Hoffman stands there just glaring at him. No words, just glaring at him. And Rig's just like, what? What?
He doesn't
What?
even need to say a single
Yeah.
word. That's how powerful this
It's
moment
so good.
is.
And especially Rig's dying and he's having a terrible time and Hoffman's just like, yeah, whatever, see you later.
Yep.
It's great. It's so great. And, Saw 4, like, it's a bit of an up and down film, and this moment, we love it.
Game over.
That brings us to our next on the list.
At number 7, we have Dr. Gordon's return.
How can you not smile every time watching the old pig mask coming off Dr. Gordon's face?
And being like, oh, it was the guy from the start of the movie? No way.
The one moment I threw my popcorn at the screen. It was a big reveal, and I didn't see it coming when I first saw it, and I still don't think it makes much sense.
I I just have to say that watching the Saw franchise with Adam for the first time, seeing his reaction when Dr. Gordon was revealed and him being like, oh my God, are you serious?
I said, no.
It was the best moment. It was the best moment for the entire franchise. I loved that moment so much. Dr. Gordon's return, it's a wacky one. It's insane. But I just love the fan service of it all. I love them being like, hey, yeah, it would be a good idea to say that guy limping was Dr. Gordon and bring him back 7 films later. Iconic.
It's a beautiful scene. It's a beautiful return for Carrie Elwes to play an apprentice. And it is a big twist, it's a very big twist for the franchise. And my reaction to seeing Dr. Gordon as an apprentice was pretty much the same as Mark Hoffman, who responds with a, what the fuck?
I think everyone's would have been.
Yeah.
I think you're either like cheering and screaming out of your seat, or you've got some logic going on in your brain and you're like, hang on a second, this doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. We love it though, regardless.
It's a fun moment.
Regardless of the fact that it is senseless, it is very, very exciting.
Yes, makes us very happy. It's definitely a big fun moment. I don't mind it making a little bit of nonsense in a way, as long as it's fun and enjoyable, which this definitely is.
I completely agree.
That's right. So that brings us to number 6.
At number 6, we have Right Now You're Feeling Helpless.
Right now, you're feeling helpless.
Right now, you're feeling helpless. This is a quote that we say to each other a lot.
A lot. And a quote that every Saw fan must know.
Yes, because it gets said over and over and over again.
Over and over and over. It's probably like a quarter of Saw 6's runtime is this line.
Yes, and to that point, this is a scene which the very famous line, right now you're feeling helpless, is played over and over and over again as it gets descrambled so that the cops can find out who the real killer is.
Yeah.
A beautiful scene as we see Mark Hoffman slyly drink his coffee and walk around realizing he's about to be found out.
A very tense scene.
Yeah.
It's extremely tense. Ultimately, you know that Hoffman's going to get out of it either way
Yeah.
because he gets out of any situation, and I mean any.
Yes, you're not worried too much about Hoffman. You're like, oh, they're about to find out.
No. You're more worried about poor Perez in this
Yes,
scene.
that's
Because
right.
for Perez to be revealed as still alive at the start of this film, only to have her life taken in cold blood by Mark Hoffman later when she finds out that he is indeed in on the Jigsaw ruse.
Yes.
It's very sad, but also very, very exciting.
It's very exciting. We love hearing just even the words, right now you're feeling helpless.
Right now, you're feeling helpless.
And how it goes up and down and it's being scrambled and just saying, oh, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer. And then you can kind of hear hints of his voice in it. And do Erickson and Perez already know that he's in on it?
Yeah, it's never really sort of like, it's alluded that maybe Erickson Perez kind of know it's him. But at the same time, maybe they don't, and you as the audience don't know if they are just toying with him. It's never really confirmed.
They're
It's very
detectives.
interesting.
We're not supposed to know.
We're not supposed to know. But it is a beautiful scene, and it's one of those things where it's kind of like ASMR for Saw fans. Just you can just play that right now, you're feeling helpless line, and you just quietly just enjoy it. It's really, really great. So
I reckon it was the scene that I probably watched back on YouTube the most, especially after I'd seen it. It was just so cool to see that moment.
it's very cool.
Yeah.
And Perez's death is very cool. The way he takes her out, almost in a romantic way, very, very intimate.
Yeah.
And then him burning the place after
Yeah.
is one of the coolest scenes too.
It just shows how
fun.
far Hoffman will go to survive.
Yes, he even carries a little bit of Strahm's hand around too. So it was
He's
cool.
always got a piece of Strahm with him.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
And
So
speaking of Strahm, at number 5 we have Strahm's death.
I know who you are! I know!
now that kind of sounds funny in a way that this is a happy moment. But yes, you guys, if you watch us, you know we love the glass coffin scene. We love the end of Saw 5. And we love and also kind of find it sad watching Strahm's death here at the end too. But we do love it. It's really great.
We struggled to figure out whether this was a sad moment or a happy moment,
Yes.
but ultimately we landed on happy because of how much we enjoy the scene. The glass coffin scene is, not secretly, one of our favourite scenes in the entire franchise. Having Strahm meet his demise and being a very Strahm till the very end.
I got you, you motherfucker.
He is Strahm to the very, very end. He just doesn't shut up.
He doesn't shut up. And he delivers some of his best lines
The
in this
best
scene.
lines, yeah.
We just love everything. We've talked about this a million times. There's reasons why we love this. Everything about it. So great. Makes us very, very happy. We had to place it on the list. We didn't put it at number one. You know, we saved you that. But fantastic scene. Makes us incredibly happy. We'll put this scene on anytime and sit and watch the entire thing. Phenomenal. Sad to see him die, but just so great. So great. So great. Poor old Strahm, you know, but he brings us a lot. His death brings us a lot of joy.
A lot of joy.
And then a bit of sadness later. Anyway, that brings us to number 4.
At number 4, we have the John Kramer body reveal.
A very big moment, and we still love it now. You know, it's one of those things. It's one of the most iconic moments in all of cinema history. I'm not going to say the Saw franchise, but when you talk about iconic moments, John Kramer getting up after being a dead body the entire time. I even made my mum watch Saw 1 the other day, and she didn't see it coming. You know, when you've got a big, massive twist like this, and you've got basically a character appearing out of nowhere. I love the look on Adam's face, the way he sells it. He's so shocked. The audience is shocked.
I think the look on Adam's face elevates this so much. Like it is... That look on Adam's face is burned into everyone's brain.
Yes. Especially,
you can't erase it.
Especially considering Lee Winnell, who plays Adam, wrote that scene. And even he knew it was coming, but he looked so shocked.
He did. He played it so well. And for Lee's questionable performance in moments throughout this film.
He's the best.
This scene is just insane. It's so crazy. You believe he's really there and he's really going through this moment. He's shocked. We're shocked. Everyone's shocked. But hey, it will be one of the most iconic scenes in all of cinema for probably the rest of time.
Forever.
Yeah.
And I want to say too, it's not just that it was iconic. The reveal of John Kramer being the dead body, being the killer the whole time, is also kind of really what it got everyone talking about this movie when it first came out, and kind of sold tickets. You know, it was everybody's like, wow, Saw is amazing, you got to go see it, because the twist at the end is so big, really, is what got everyone talking. So it's a huge moment, and we can still sit down and watch it. And it's still probably the one moment of the first Saw film where you still just get chills almost watching it. Like, oh, it's so good.
It never gets old.
Never gets old. That Zepp music plays and you're just loving life.
It's the first Zepp.
The real full Zepp, the original Zepp. It's fantastic. You know, it really does bring you joy every time. Still now, it hasn't weakened over the years at all. Just one of the best moments. So... And that being said, considering the fact that we put that at number 4, we must have some pretty top ones at number 3.
Number 3, a scene that gives me so much joy. Jill dying.
Game over.
And again, this might sound a bit odd, someone's death being one of the happiest moments. But, you know, we will expand upon that. And I've got to say, like, you just love the fact that Jill dies, let's be honest.
I don't like Jill's character. I think Jill's character is probably one of the, if not the, most inconsistent character in the Saw franchise. She's annoying. I think that the performance isn't great. And I don't want to bash her because, you know, she's not the worst thing in the world. But, yeah, Jill as a character is just one of the flattest. And, can't wait to see her die every single time. It's great. Hoffman gets his revenge. She's killed by the reverse bear trap.
Yes, more importantly, it is finally, after many years and many films, the scene that we finally get to see the reverse bear trap go off completely. So it's a big moment, and we've been waiting forever for the bear trap to finally go off, and it's so good. We finally get to see what happens when the reverse bear trap does what it was designed to do, and there you have it. You don't have to watch it in 3D. You can appreciate it as it is normally. What a scene. Geez, I tell you what, Jill ends up just an absolute mess. Just disgusting.
She doesn't have a face left.
No face left. And it's a great scene. You know, Hoffman, of course, just staring on and, you know, just seeing him get his revenge finally. Yeah. It brings you a lot of joy. It really does.
And bringing back the original reverse bear trap from the first film.
Yes.
It's an iconic moment.
Yes. And on that note, of course, it does tie pretty well to our number 2, which is...
At number 2, we have Hoffman escapes the reverse bear trap.
Another bear trap scene and another Hoffman scene also. This really is a fantastic scene.
It is. It's definitely one of the, like, I would say the happiest scenes,
Yes.
if you will. Seeing him get out of an inescapable trap is just insane.
It's
and
fantastic,
again,
yeah.
just goes to show what he is willing to do to survive. He does the impossible.
There's a lot going on here, as with a lot of these scenes. Saw 6, I think, has a really strong ending overall. So we get this beautiful ending of course, William Easton and the way he turns out. And that's pretty cool in general.
Yeah.
And we have that so heavily tied in with Hoffman getting the bear trap put on him. And this scene works so well, not just because this rivalry between Hoffman and Jill, but also because there's this beautiful montage, and you're kind of led to believe that
Hoffman's gonna die.
Hoffman's probably going to die. They play it out like this is the end of that character.
Yeah, you get flashes of everything that Hoffman's been through. You get Strahm's in there, Amanda,
So much fun.
John. There's so much in there that leads you to think, is this it for Hoffman? And somehow he manages to pull off the escape of all escapes.
Yes.
It's done perfectly. We get his iconic Zepp theme. I wouldn't change a single part of it.
Yeah, and you don't see him being smart enough to put it through those bars to
No.
get that bear trap to stop taking his face off. And I've got to say, too, again, props to Kevin, the director, really shot well here, because you've got to love the way it shatters through that glass and goes off, and you just see the bear trap fall on the ground. It just looks so great. This is really shot well, and this beautiful wide shot as it comes off Hoffman's torn face as he screams with the blood coming off it.
Yep.
That's iconic.
I think it's even cooler that they revisit it later in Saw 7 or Saw 3D, where they show the aftermath of it happening and then Jill watching as it happens as well, which you don't get to see in Saw 6. It's just such a well thought out scene.
It's such a great scene. We love the way he looks with his mouth ripped open. Everything about this scene, his whole 60 seconds of him trying to escape, it's just really fantastic. And we love watching it.
Absolutely.
Definitely happy for him surviving, but also just the scene in general, fantastic. Which leaves us with one last scene, the one scene that makes us the happiest in the franchise. What is the number one scene?
The number one scene that makes us the happiest in the Saw franchise is Hoffman's return.
Out of all the men to cheat, you picked John Kramer?
Hoffman's big reveal at the end of Saw 10, a very small glimpse into the future of the Saw franchise, which we are dying for, and it's only a year and a half away.
Yeah. It's not like we have long to wait or anything.
Yes.
Let me just say, Hoffman's reveal at the end of Saw 10 comes as a bit of a surprise. I think that we both went into it expecting that he would be in some part of the film, and then when those credits roll, you're like, are you serious? Are you kidding? But don't fret, because he is a part of the end credit scene, and what a moment.
A very big moment. Now I have to do a quick little story here. We saw the film at an advanced premiere about a day early. We did not get spoiled that he was in it. We had some rumors that were incorrect. And you spent the entire movie saying to me in every new scene, is Hoffman in this scene? Is that Hoffman? Is that noise Hoffman? Every time there was a knock at the door or someone saying something, she couldn't wait. Every moment was, is that Hoffman? And I tell you what, it was one of these things.
Okay, in my defense, I'd had a bit to drink.
Maybe it had a bit to drink, but look, we were sitting there watching the movie, just waiting for him to appear. And we loved the movie, but we were literally watching it the entire time thinking, he's got to turn up at some point, right? So it was like a whole thing. And then the film ends. You were a bit disappointed, I'm going to say.
I was the first time.
You were. And, of course, then finally this end credit scene happens. He's in the bathroom, John being him, walks in, and there it is. Who comes around that body? Mark Hoffman, looking better than ever, I want to say. And, I've got to say, like, once that post-credit scene finally did appear, you lost your mind. You lost your mind.
I think there was a few people in cinema that lost their mind, but yeah, I did lose my mind.
Yes, it was a very big deal. And for you, I'd almost say it saved the film.
It did save the film.
First viewing.
So it was hard for me because we saw with Saw 10, I did drink beforehand, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I had built up this expectation in my mind that Hoffman was going to be revealed. We had Amanda in the trailer. Surely there was something else they were going to have in the film that we didn't know, and I just imagined that being Hoffman. And then you get these small moments of John on the phone to Hoffman, and then Parker turning up. I was like, oh, it's Hoffman. Hoffman's here. He's going to save the day. But no, it ended up being Parker. So there was a lot of things that let me down. But then we went and saw it the next day. So we flew back from Sydney and we saw it again. And of course, knowing what to expect, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yes, and then during that first viewing, I fell for it a little bit too. There was a bang at the door. Is that Hoffman? We see the footage on the security cameras. Oh, is that Hoffman turning up? No, it was Parker.
Yeah.
Even one point, you could hear it was actually Carlos kicking the soccer ball, and I could hear that noise banging. I'm like, is Hoffman here to save the day at the end of the film? No, it's just Carlos. So there was a bit of that. So the one moment that made us the happiest was when he did finally appear on that screen. And I've got to say, because I questioned Costas Mandylor these years later, is he pulling off Hoffman in this era? And I just saw him come on that screen. I thought, you know what? He pulls it off.
Expertly so, yeah.
He looks the part. And that scene, that one end credit scene, as short as it is, makes us so excited for the next film, because now we've seen him in present day, what he looks like as in the role of Hoffman. And he looks so good and so strong and menacing. Yeah. We're very excited to see him properly in Saw 11. I think that we're in for just a really beautiful ride, because, we're going to finally see a lot more of him. So you can understand why it's our happiest moment.
Absolutely.
It is something for us to hold on to for the next film that comes out next year. And, of course, it really did bring us a lot of joy in the Saw X premiere. Something that we needed, even if it was a minute. And the guys who put it together, if you guys are listening, the producers and everything, you knew what you're doing putting it there.
Yeah.
Like, you knew you wanted that fan service. You went to the effort of making that final scene purely just to make the fans happy. There was no other reason for it.
No. And we'll always be so thankful that you guys are willing to provide the fan service that we all want as fans.
Yeah.
I think that we definitely probably could have called this list the 10 happiest Hoffman moments in the Saw franchise.
Oh, look. Half of
can you tell who our favorite character is? Of course.
Yeah, Hoffman's been around for a long time at this point. He's still alive. He is still alive. So he's easy. He's got a lot of moments for sure. But that is our top 10 happiest moments from the Saw franchise. And everyone's got to have that one moment that they love so much, that really, really, that they hold dearly. So definitely let us know what your favorite moment is when you're watching the franchise. Probably the moment you keep repeating over and over on YouTube as well. Otherwise, guys, we'll see you in the next video.
See you next time, guys.
Game over.